America, the early 1930s. The Great Depression, millions of people without jobs, thousands of banks ruined. People stand in long lines for free bread. The streets are filled with beggars. But among this devastation, a figure appears, one who challenges the system. For some, a bandit. For others, a hero. His name was Johnny Dillinger. His name would forever go down in history as public enemy number one. Johnny was born in 1903 in Indianapolis. His mother died when he was only 4 years old. His father, the owner of a grocery store, was strict and demanded discipline from his son. But young Johnny was always drawn to the streets, to adventure, and to the company of questionable friends. At school, he was considered smart, but lazy. Teachers said he had a lively mind, but a bad character. As a teenager, he was already involved in petty theft and car stealing. His father tried to reform him, even moved to a farm, hoping rural life would steer his son in the right direction. But Johnny had already chosen his path. In 1924, together with a friend, Dillinger tried to rob a store. But everything went wrong. He was caught, and the court sentenced him to 9 years in prison. Prison became his university. There, he met experienced gangsters who taught him everything, from planning robberies to handling weapons. Johnny realized, if you're going to live, live big. In 1933, he was released early. America was in the midst of a wave of bank robberies, and Dillinger immediately assembled his own gang. They operated across different states, robbing banks. But they did it in style, in suits, fedoras, armed with Thompson's submachine guns. The main rule: act fast. Sometimes a robbery took less than 2 minutes. What's interesting is that the public loved him. Banks were seen as symbols of greed and injustice. Newspapers wrote about his boldness, and he became almost a legend. Stories spread that during a robbery, Dillinger would check the customer's accounts and say, "Don't worry, we're taking only the bank's money, your savings are safe." Dillinger proved more than once that he knew how to escape. In 1933, his associates broke him out of prison. In 1934, he was again behind bars, this time in Crown Point, a prison considered inescapable. But there he pulled off one of the most famous jailbreaks in history. He carved a pistol out of wood, painted it black, and threatening the guards, walked out to freedom. The newspapers turned it into a sensation. People said, "Dillinger fooled the system again." His fame made him the top target of the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover understood. To strengthen the Bureau's image, he needed a spectacular victory. And that victory was to be Dillinger's capture. He was officially declared public enemy number one. For the first time, new technologies were used. Radio communication between police departments, shared databases, and informant networks. The hunt became large-scale and relentless. The summer of 1934. Dillinger was hiding in Chicago, living under a false name. But it was a woman, Anna Sage, who played the decisive role. She cooperated with the FBI and betrayed Dillinger. She would later be called the Lady in Red. On July 22, 1934, Johnny went to the Biograph Theater to see the film Manhattan Melodrama. FBI agents were already waiting for him outside. When he stepped onto the street, the agents opened fire. Dillinger fell, hit by several bullets. A crowd rushed to the scene of his death. People collected his blood in handkerchiefs as a relic. The newspapers the next day came out with loud headlines once again. For the authorities, he was a criminal. For the people, a symbol of defiance. His name became part of American folklore. And to this day, the question remains: Who was he really? A ruthless robber or a romantic hero who rose up against the system?